The galaxy was full of civilizations that had lived for thousands of years, each one proud of its power and knowledge. They looked down on Earth, calling it a tiny, weak planet where humans barely survived. No one believed humans could ever challenge them, and the stories of Earth were mostly jokes in the great council halls. Primitive humans, barely out of caves, one alien sneered, "How can they even build a machine that works?" On Earth, life was hard but ordinary. Humans struggled with hunger, disease, and endless wars among themselves. Yet, hidden behind the noise of daily life, a quiet power was growing. Scientists worked in secret labs, engineers tested machines in hidden valleys, and a small group of humans believed their planet could rise beyond what the galaxy imagined. They built weapons that seemed impossible to others. Railguns that fired metal at incredible speeds and teleporters that could move matter across vast distances instantly. The humans did not show their work to anyone outside. They knew the galaxy would laugh and dismiss it, but they worked with determination. Every day, small tests became bigger, and every mistake became a lesson. Somewhere in the deserts of Africa, a massive railgun was tested. A glowing projectile shot across the horizon faster than a comet, landing miles away with a thunderous impact. The sound could be heard by no one, but the Earth trembled with pride. Meanwhile, the aliens continued their jokes. The Council of Planets met in shining towers above gas giants. They mocked Earth and humans. Even if they have strange machines, they will never survive the void of space. One elder of the council chuckled, imagining how easy it would be to crush Earth if it ever tried to fight. They had seen many planets rise and fall, and none had ever surprised them. Yet, on Earth, there was a different energy, a spark that no alien could measure. Humans worked together in secret, sharing ideas, combining old knowledge with new experiments. Even children learned the basics of science and engineering. Every small discovery became a step toward something greater. The railguns were not just weapons. They were proof that humans could think beyond limits. The teleporters were not just transport. They were a way to show that humans could change the rules of the galaxy. One night, under a sky full of stars, the first teleportation test succeeded. A small crate disappeared from one lab and appeared in another across the country. The scientists cheered quietly, knowing the galaxy would never expect this. Humans were small, yes, and Earth seemed weak, but slowly, silently, they were preparing for a moment that would change everything. And while the council laughed, humans learned, humans built, humans dreamed. They did not care about ridicule or doubt. Every failure only made them stronger. Every laugh from the galaxy only fueled their determination. The day would come when the galaxy would no longer laugh, when humans would show that even the smallest planet could challenge the mightiest civilizations. For now, Earth was quiet, its people working in shadows, the galaxy unaware of the storm growing below. Railguns and teleporters were ready, waiting for the right moment, and when that moment arrived, no one would forget the name of the planet they had laughed at for so long. The galaxy still laughed at Earth, even after strange reports began to spread. The council believed these stories were mistakes. They thought humans could not be dangerous. They were very wrong. Far out in space, near a quiet mining world, an alien fleet moved without fear. They believed no one would dare to challenge them. Suddenly, space around them changed. Human ships appeared from nothing. Teleporters had brought them there in a blink. Before the aliens could react, railguns fired. Bright lines of metal tore through the void. Alien ships were hit and broken apart. The fleet that felt so strong a moment before was now in chaos. The alien commanders tried to send messages to the council, but human forces were already blocking the signals. They did not shout or threaten. They simply moved with calm speed, doing exactly what they had planned. On Earth, human leaders watched the battle. They did not smile. They did not cheer. They knew this was only the beginning. This strike was not about anger. It was about being taken seriously. More alien ships tried to fight back, but railguns were too fast. They cut through shields like paper. Every shot was clean and sharp. The aliens could not understand how human weapons were so powerful. News spread across the galaxy. Worlds that had once laughed at Earth now listened with fear. The stories were clear. Humans had destroyed a full alien fleet with ease. Something had changed. The council finally took notice. In their bright hall, leaders argued. Some said it was just luck. Others said it was a trick. But deep inside, they all felt worry. Human forces did not stop. More strikes followed, each one careful and precise. Humans did not attack cities or homes. They targeted military bases and control stations. They showed they were not monsters. They were focused and smart. Aliens who survived the attacks told stories of human ships that appeared like ghosts. They said the railguns sounded like thunder in space. They said there was no warning, no time to hide. Fear grew, and with fear came respect. The galaxy was learning a hard lesson. Humans were not weak. They were simply waiting. Back on Earth, scientists, and soldiers worked together. Every strike gave them new data. Every battle made their systems better. They were learning fast. The Council now faced a choice. They could talk, or they could fight. But fighting humans would not be easy anymore. The first strike had done its job. Earth had spoken in a language the galaxy understood. Power. And this was only the start. The galaxy was already afraid of human railguns, but it was not ready for what came next. The Council believed Earth had only one strong weapon, and they thought they could still find a way to stop it. They were wrong. Deep under Earth cities, human scientists worked day and night. They were not focused on bigger guns now. They were building something far more dangerous: teleporters. These machines could move soldiers, ships, and weapons from one place to another in a blink of an eye. No alien race had ever made something so fast and so stable. The first large test was done in secret. A human battleship stood in orbit around Earth, silent and waiting. In a hidden base on the planet, engineers turned on the teleporter, light filled the room, and in one sudden flash, the ship was gone. A moment later, it appeared near a distant moon, millions of miles away. The crew did not even feel the move. To them, it felt like stepping through a door. Human leaders smiled. They now had something no one else in the galaxy had. They could strike anywhere, anytime, without warning. The aliens used long travel routes and slow warp gates. Humans would not need them anymore. Soon, the teleporters were used in real battles. Alien fleets moved toward human space, confident they could crush Earth. But human ships did not wait for them. One moment the alien commanders saw empty space. The next moment, human ships appeared right beside them. Railguns fired, and alien ships were torn apart before they could react. On distant planets, human soldiers appeared inside enemy bases. They took control of power stations, communication towers, and defense systems in minutes. The aliens did not even understand how the humans arrived. They had no warning, no chance to prepare. Panic spread across the galaxy. The Council tried to gather information, but it was too late. Human teleporters made their old defenses useless. Walls, shields, and fleets meant nothing if the enemy could appear inside them. Some alien leaders called it dark magic, others called it impossible science, but no matter what they called it, it was real. Earth was no longer a weak world. It was now the most dangerous force in the stars, not because humans were cruel, but because they were smart. They used their tools in clever ways. They did not waste lives. They struck only where it mattered. A small human team even appeared inside a Council supply station. They took data, maps, and secret codes. Then they vanished without a trace. The Council realized their greatest fear had come true. Humans were not just strong, they were everywhere. Across the galaxy, worlds that once laughed at Earth now watched in silence. They remembered how they had called humans foolish and slow. Now those same humans could reach any planet in seconds. The power had shifted, and no one could deny it anymore. Human commanders began to plan the next move. They knew fear was spreading, and fear could lead to mistakes. The Council would soon act, and when it did, humans would be ready. Far away, in their shining halls, the Council leaders argued. Some wanted to surrender, others wanted to fight. But all of them knew one thing: the galaxy they ruled was slipping away, and it was slipping away because of one small blue planet called Earth. The humans were no longer hiding. The secret was out. Teleporters had changed everything, and the galaxy would never be the same again. The Council had ruled the galaxy for a very long time. Their words were law, and their fleets kept every world in line. But now fear filled their shining halls. Humans had broken their power, and everyone knew it. Reports came in from all sides: supply stations lost, defense towers taken, fleets destroyed without warning. Human ships did not fly through space like others. They appeared and disappeared like ghosts. Railguns hit from impossible angles, and teleporters made escape useless. The Council leaders shouted at each other. Some blamed old plans, some blamed weak allies. But deep inside, they all knew the truth. They had laughed at Earth, and now Earth was making them pay for it. In one bold move, humans decided to strike at the heart of the Council. A massive teleport wave opened inside the Council defense zone. Dozens of human ships appeared at once, right near the main Council station. Alarms screamed, and alien guards rushed to their posts, but it was too late. Railgun fire lit up space. Council defense ships were hit before they could even aim. Human soldiers teleported directly into key control rooms. They shut down shields, cut power lines, and locked doors. The great station that once felt safe now felt like a trap. Inside, Council members watched in fear as screens went dark. One by one, their outer defenses fell. Humans were calm and focused, moving like a single mind. They did not destroy more than needed. They only took what would make the Council weak. An alien commander tried to lead a counterattack, but every time his fleet moved, humans appeared in front of it. Railguns fired, and ships exploded in silent flashes. The alien commander could not understand how the humans always knew where to be. It felt like fighting an enemy who could see the future. Across the station, human teams moved deeper. They took data centers. They captured leaders. They stopped messages from going out. The council was being cut off from the rest of the galaxy, just like a king being locked in his own castle. Fear turned into panic. Some council members begged for talks. Others tried to flee, but teleporters blocked every path. Humans were already there, waiting. Calm voices told them to stand down. Earth did not want to burn the galaxy. It wanted to change it. Humans wanted respect, safety, and a fair place among the stars. The council had refused to give that. Now they had no choice. In the Great Hall, where Earth had once been mocked, human soldiers now stood, quiet and strong. Their presence alone was enough to silence the room. The council members looked at them and finally saw what they had missed before. Humans were not weak, they were just patient. Outside, more human ships arrived, teleporting in like waves of light. The council station was fully surrounded. There was nowhere left to run. The old rulers of the galaxy had lost control. Their power was gone, not because humans were cruel, but because humans were smarter, faster, and more united. The moment had come. The galaxy was watching. The council was about to fall, and humanity was ready to step into a new future. The council station was silent, once full of loud voices and pride, now filled with fear and quiet waiting. Human ships floated around it like a wall of light. Teleporters were ready, and railguns were aimed, but no one fired. Inside the Great Hall, the council members stood before the human leaders. They had no fleets left to call, no power to command. For the first time in a very long age, the galaxy rulers were not in control. A human voice spoke, calm and clear. Humans did not come to destroy the galaxy. They came to be seen. For too long, Earth was ignored and mocked. For too long, humans were treated as small and weak. That time was over now. The council tried to speak back, but their words had no weight. They could see it in every screen and every report. Human ships were everywhere. Human teams were in every key place. The galaxy already knew who held the true power. But humans did not act like cruel rulers. They did not burn worlds or take revenge. Instead, they offered something new, a fair system where every planet had a voice, where no world was laughed at or pushed aside. Some aliens were shocked by this. They expected anger, they expected punishment, but humans showed strength with control. That was what made them truly powerful. Slowly, the council members agreed. They had no choice, but they also saw hope. The old galaxy had been built on fear. The new one could be built on respect. Across the stars, alien worlds watched as the news spread. Earth had not just won a war. It had changed the way the galaxy worked. The planet that was once called weak had become the heart of a new future. On Earth, people looked up at the sky. They knew their world would never be the same again. Humans were now part of the stars, not as beggars, but as leaders. Railguns and teleporters were still there, still strong. But now they were not just tools of war. They were symbols of what humans could build when they worked together. The galaxy learned an important lesson. Never judge a world by its size. Never laugh at a people who keep learning and growing. Humanity had risen, not through hate, but through skill, courage, and smart minds. The stars would remember this moment for a very long time. And far beyond the old council space, new adventures waited. Humans were ready to explore, ready to build, and ready to protect what they had earned. The small blue planet that once stood alone now stood at the center of a great and changing galaxy. The story of Earth had only just begun.